right. Meanwhile, let's go out to Iowa, where Senator Chuck Grassley, the ranking member of the Senate Judiciary Committee, is joining us now. Senator, up for re-election. Senator, first off, when you look at this raid, the one thing I didn't think was going to happen so early was it seems like every Republican is on the same page. Even Mitch McConnell saying we need answers to why this raid took place, not sources or ideas about what they were looking for, the FBI was looking for. What questions do you have?
The people of Iowa are outraged at what's happening here, particularly the double standard between negotiating with Hillary Clinton on her servers and emails, and we know they were compromised for national security, but they negotiated with her and they raided the president. And I talked to 2 days ago to the FBI director about it, and I didn't get any satisfactory answers. And we need to have some trust in the FBI. You know how I pointed out political bias, starting a Trump investigation and stopping a Hunter Biden investigation by the special agent in charge that had political bias against Republicans. And this is just another example of that. And so the question I have is, when are they going to tell the American people exactly why they did it and what they and why they did it, raiding it, as opposed to what they did negotiating with Hillary Clinton?
Did Chris Wray know about it? Did Chris Wray tell you he knew about the raid?
What did he say to you?
I did not get that answer from him. I said, I basically said this: when are we going to know why it's going to be, why it was done and how it was done and what? And you get the usual answer under both Republican and Democrat administrations. We don't talk about an ongoing investigation.
Sure.
Well, in this case, where it's so historically wrong to raid an ex-president's office that's never been done before, I think we deserve answers at the highest level of government, and that's at least at Garland's level.
Well, did you get the sense that they actually have something? Because it is, like you said, so rare and unprecedented to be this extreme.
I didn't get much of an answer at all,
okay.
And that's what's wrong. This is a Department of Justice supposed to be, but it's a Department of Trust Us. And that isn't the way the American government works. Transparency brings accountability, and this extraordinary action on this administration, whether it's Biden, whether it's Garland, or whether it's Wray, or whether it's somebody under them that Wray didn't even know about it, I didn't even get an answer on that. But we need to have trust in the Department of FBI, and this just destroys that confidence, and particularly the political bias that I've already proven through my investigations into Tebow and these other investigations that I just stated.
Yeah. Well, Senator, it sounds like there are a number of stories where, according to sources who have spoken to, I read this morning in Rolling Stone, which I had a subscription to in the 1970s. Anyway, they got a good journalism outfit. But apparently they had an informant on the inside. And they say, since May, the president has wondered, do you think our phones are tapped? And since May, there have been a number of times where the president has wondered whether any Republicans visiting the clubs could be wearing a wire. So it sounds like somebody inside said, hey, in this room, you'll find this, and in that room, you'll find that. So it sounds like there's some high level, some high degree that going in, they knew where the stuff was, whatever the stuff is.
Well, those are answers that I can't speak to. The FBI director, when I had my conversation with him 2 days ago, he didn't talk about that. and we need answers to those questions, and there's nothing illegitimate, particularly the extraordinary aspect of a former president, for the first time in the history of our country, having a house raided for information.
You're not supposed to use the word raid.
Particularly when it's so different from the way they handled Hillary Clinton.
I know you've had whistleblowers that have come to you and told you the Hunter Biden story, that was disinformation because of these two agents. One was Tebow, as you mentioned, in the FBI field offices. I think one was in D.C. And they were telling you that, these whistleblowers were telling you these two agents did not want that story out there about Hunter Biden and were calling it disinformation. Have you talked to those whistleblowers about this raid, and what are they saying is happening inside the FBI?
I have not personally talked to them, but I assume that my chief investigator has had conversation with them, and if they haven't, I'm sure we will have.
Okay. Also, Senator, while you're there, I'm sure in addition, you're sitting today in Des Moines, I'm sure in addition to the search warrant execution that happened a couple of nights ago, the news as well that apparently the IRS is going to hire a whole bunch of new people. They got $80 billion to hire a bunch of people. And one of the job postings said this: if you get this job, you've got to be able to carry a firearm and be willing to use deadly force if necessary. Be willing and able to participate in arrests, execution of search warrants, and other dangerous assignments. So it sounds like the IRS is arming up.
Are they going to have a strike force that goes in with AK-15s already loaded, ready to shoot some small business person in Iowa with these? Because I think they're going after middle class and small business people, because basically they think anybody that has pass-through income is a crook and they aren't paying their fair share, and we're going to go after them. And with 87,000 additional employees, you can imagine what that harassment's going to be to middle-class Americans and our small business people.
Yep, an example of what happens when you lose 2 seats in Georgia. You got to jam this down the American people's throats. Meanwhile, 12 minutes after the hour, the big news is Iowa, Field of Dreams. Second straight year. Fox is airing the game tonight. This will be the Reds and Cubs. What's the sense on the ground as Major League Baseball comes to your great state?
Well, isn't it great for Iowa?
Yeah.
Isn't it great? What a movie 32 years ago brought to Iowa, Field of Dreams. The people walk out of the cornfield and they say, "Is this heaven?" No, it's Iowa. And that's the way we look at it yet here. And we welcome the Reds and the Cubs. Last year I saw the White Sox play the Yankees, and 2 days ago I saw the first minor league game between Cedar Rapids and Davenport.
Wow.
7,000 people were there. This is a new awakening of the American people to the great sport, baseball.
Well, so we'll get you a Major League team. Come on, Senator, use some of your power there. Get a Major League team in Iowa.
Well, we've almost got one with the Iowa Cubs at Des Moines.